Morning Geeks! Time to grab your coffee, time to grab a chair, time to sit down. Morning Geeks is here! Hey everybody, Jeffrey Powers here from Geekazine. Think Magazine, put in a geek and you got me. And at least half of me is working, half of me. And of course, the Bell's Palsy continuing on. Rolling. How's it going with you today? Happy Stardate 306.157.61. And I got to start this show off by saying I messed up last week. Last week, I gave out happy birthdays and the days and stuff like that and the star date for the day before the show, which was May 27th as opposed to May 28th, because, you know, when I go to do this show, I'm doing prep all week long. So I started it on Wednesday. I kept thinking Thursday was the day I was going to do the recording, and then Friday, because I have been debating whether to move this show to Thursday and do a Morning Geeks Thursday morning rather than Friday morning. That way it gives you 24 hours to really get this while you're at work. So I've been excuse me, really contemplating that whole thing. Let me know, does Thursday work better for you or Friday? And I'll make the change. It's not a big deal. Hey, I'd rather sleep in on a Friday, so I'm good with that. So if you think that Thursday is a better day to do this live, let me know. And Friday, and I try to do it. It's 8:30 Eastern time, which makes it 5:30 in the morning Pacific time. So a lot of you on the West Coast aren't even up yet. So you'll probably watch this recorded, and you're probably used to watching things recorded rather than live. Saturday Night Live, Walking Dead Live. Wait a minute, it's not live? Oh, never mind. So, but anyway, the whole point is that, we'll move it a day. We'll move it an hour. If you feel that you want to watch it live on Thursday at 2 p.m., yeah, that's how you watch Morning Geeks. Maybe we'll do that. You never know. So check out everything over at geekazine.com or morninggeeks.com. And, of course, the Twitter handles, Morning Geeks and Geekazine. Both of them are valid Twitter handles. Facebook.com/Geekazine. No Morning Geeks. I decided not to make a Facebook page for that. I should, but right now, not so much. And, of course, you can go over to geekazine.com and find out everything. Happy Unity Day. Happy Unity Day. Happy National Tonga Day. It's National Tonga, not Tunga, but Tonga Day. Happy birthday to Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid. Will Rogers, the Lasso Kid. Loretta Swit, the MASH Kid, I guess, I don't know. Doris Roberts, and all right, Matthew McConaughey. It's his birthday, too. So, hey, congratulations to the Cubbies. If you haven't heard by now, ha, ha, ha. The Cubbies won the World Series against the Cleveland Indians. And, it was basically a Back to the Future 2 prediction, 1 year off, and of course, Michael J. Anyway, is that the right name? Michael J. Fox. That's it. Michael C. Hall, Michael J. Fox. There we go. Sometimes when you're going live off the cuff and your brain's just kind of spinning, you kind of forget names. Like yesterday on the radio, I heard somebody. They played the song from the Breakfast Club, and he goes, "Yeah, I remember that classic scene at the end when Judd Hirsch raised his hand in the air." And I'm thinking to myself, Judd Hirsch wasn't in Breakfast Club. Judd Nelson was in Breakfast Club. So, but anyway, Michael J. Fox. There we go. We did that right. He did a shout out. Everybody did a shout out for the Cubbies. So congratulations to the Cubbies. They weren't expected to win it this year, but they were expected to win it within the next 2 or 3 years. But now we can wait until 21-24 when the Cubbies win again. 108 years from now. Get it? So, all right. Of course, tomorrow, if you live in an area where this happens, you got to set your clocks back an hour. That means Morning Geeks will technically be, an hour before, so it would be technically 7:30 Eastern time, 4:30 a.m. Pacific time next week, although we set it back. Now, unless you live in places like Indiana or I think Hawaii doesn't set their clocks back, so you just basically have the same time. It gets confusing, but the whole point is, if you have to set your clock back an hour because your state does that or your area does that, then it's time to do that. And that's tomorrow at 2 a.m. And no, you don't get an extra hour of bar time out there. You don't. So, this week I got the new product to review, which is this. It's the Google Pixel. It's the Pixel phone. And let me zoom in on that. There we go. It's simple. Just got the fingerprint reader in the back for identification. And it's not as big as I thought it would be. I thought it would be the size of the iPhone 7 Plus, but it's not. So we'll just put it side by side. As you can see, there's the Pixel to the 7 Plus. It's smaller screen. It's not bad. I'm going through the battery test right now, which basically means I don't use the phone. I put on all the apps that I normally put on. I don't use the phone at all. I just let it naturally run down, and it's been going for about 3 days now. And I think it's not at its 20%. It's like maybe 25%. I haven't turned on the percentage there, but so far so good on the first test there. The second test is it says that it charges to 90% within 15 minutes, so that'll be pretty easy. And of course, it also uses the brand new Type-C USB plug. So it's time to make some changes. Although, lightning cables and USB Type-C cables. That's what this shop is going to be about very soon. And then I'll have to try and find a mini or micro cable, and I won't be able to do it because I still have a whole bunch of stuff that uses mini and micro. So, all right. All that and one more thing here, and we'll get into your news, and that is over at patreon.com/geekazine. Of course, you can go over to geekazine.com, but if you want to be a part of the Scony Geek Nation, then go over there. There we go. The Scony Geek Nation. We got our first three backers. And I'm really thank you very much for backing the show. We've got my brother who backed me. Yeah, that's cool. And then of course Roger Nash. He was the first backer. And it's that special. You put the dollar. You have a business. You put that dollar bill up on your wall, and then you go, yeah, "This is my business," and you're really excited about it. I know I'm excited about it. And so I wish I should take a regular dollar bill and just slap it on the wall here. But anyway, Roger Nash was the first backer. Thank you very much. Michael Masuda is a $5 backer, so you'll actually start seeing $5 backers in this little ticker that I've created right here. And then, of course, my brother donated as well. So thank you very much, Tom, for that. You guys are all geeks, and thank you. If you want to be a part of the Scony Geek Nation, all you have to do is go to patreon.com/geekazine. It keeps the lights on, keeps the things running, and keeps me sane. So I will be able, I'm going out to CES in January. I'm then going out to the National Association of Music Merchants, and that takes money. And, it's on average, it's if I can do it on the cheap, usually for about $1,000, but when you go to these bigger cities, it's more like $2,000 just to do that. So then a lot of that comes out of my own pocket. So hopefully your backers will help me get out to these shows. And sometimes I find sponsors, which helps on the price, but it still takes money out of my pocket and goes from there. So today our main subject is about Deadpool 2, problems with Deadpool 2, and who should be the new director. We're going to talk about that. We've got some ideas out there to help you understand what's going on, why is it happening, and why Deadpool 2 is not coming out next year. Simple as that. So, but anyway, let's get into your news for this week. And once again, we're going music free because we still have a small problem with some of this. And of course, we're doing the dual stream over on Facebook.com/Geekazine, over on YouTube.com/Geekazine, and later you can watch it pre-recorded or recorded, live to record. Simple as that. So let's get into your news for this week. Oh, I haven't even started that. Yeah, that's why it looked funny. There we go. Let's start that. You saw a little behind the scenes action right there. So let's get it started and go from there. Why aren't you working? There you go. James Cameron talks about the advances that he wants for the next 3 Avatar movies. As you may know, he's doing back-to-back movies. 2, 3, and 4 are getting filmed back-to-back-to-back. The biggest expectation is that he wants to do a glasses-less 3D. That is unless you actually need glasses to see, then you don't get a glasses-less 3D action. It's just not. But he also talks about some of the other advancements in the CGI, other advancements in theater technology. I'd rather him not focus on glasses-less 3D, more as using the 3D HoloLens or the some sort of Google Glass, or not Google Glass, but just the VR experience. That's what I'm thinking of, Oculus or something like that, where you can take your headset with you and you watch the film, and as you're watching the film, everything kind of expands outside the screen through the use of the VR system. And of course, you'd need to charge up the batteries on your phones and turn off the texting features, or else that kind of messes the whole thing up. But that's what I would like to see, rather than glasses-less 3D, because that'll give you a little bit more than a 3D experience, because you'll be able to turn your head and see maybe the tree of life over here or something like that. I don't know. So, but that's what I would like to see from Cameron. But hey, Avatar 2, 3, 4, it's coming soon. We'll see what happens. If you follow the show, you know I am a big fan of WestWorld. I'm a WestWorld geek, as simple as that. So, and WestWorld went through what's called a pivot episode last week. Basically, they've been talking about all these little stories, getting everybody up to speed of who's who, kind of introducing the characters, the main characters and stuff like that. Now they run this pivot episode. And that pivot episode takes these characters and puts them together, makes the storylines a little bit more solid, so they can go off again and do their side stories, so we can get back to the main meat of things. And then when the final episodes come in, everything comes back together, you've got an idea of what's going on. So pivot episode is pretty cool. But what's really interesting about this is this episode also included a very interesting orgy scene, like you would have seen on Spartacus or Rome or something like that. And while it was a bit extravagant for the time, this was something that actually did happen around 1800s and 1900s, 1700s, 1600s, 1500s. It really wasn't until the 1900s that it started to become a taboo thing. And so you don't see or hear about too many of those. But back in the day, there was no, you had venereal diseases and stuff like that, but a lot of them was curable. And they did have things like condoms back then, so there was a lot of there were a lot of, I don't want to say it was a lot of sex back then, but there could have, it could have. And if you look through the history books, that they make paintings on orgies, so it was a part of life back then. And it was really the 1900s that basically said, hey, man, woman, that's it. And it might have started in the 1800s, but definitely by the 1900s, it was part of life. And but anyway, check it out. It's I'm a big fan of WestWorld. I was a big fan of the movie, big fan of the TV show. I love the direction that they're going in on this. The only thing that I don't like about it is the fact that in WestWorld you get to see the robot face, and in this situation, it's so close to the human body and stuff like that. You don't get to see all the little LED lights and stuff like that. No face is going to get extracted and actually see a computer behind it. So, but other than that, hey, it's a great show. I love it. I love it. I love it. Did I say I love it? I meant I love it. So let's move on here. No matter what, you will never be as cool as The Rock dressing up as Pinkachu. Yes, Rock is Pinkachu. Pinka-Rock. Rockachu. Rockachu. That sounds better. Rockachu. Do you smell what the Rockachu is cooking? Well, it's similar to the Gumby dog. Did you see the Gumby toy dog? The dog, the owner dressing up as the Gumby, life-size Gumby, and the dog whose favorite toy is the Gumby toy. He sees the life-size Gumby and just completely freaks out. And same thing here. His Dwayne Johnson decided to surprise his little daughter by donning the suit of Pinkachu. And it's pretty cool. You watch the video on his page. It's pretty cool. And as he said, by the time I dropped my 197th juju, the heat of this costume was kicking my ass. But hey, that's what daddies do. That's what daddies do. So congratulations. That was a great moment. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's about 3 months younger than me, so I didn't know why I brought that up. Just so you know. Anyway, we're both old. That's simple as that. All right, let's move on here. PS4 fans, Pro fans. There we go. PS4 Pro fans. Sometimes my face doesn't want to work right. I just gotta massage things. Anyway, PS4 Pro fans will have to wait no longer as the Pro comes out next week with an improved graphics card, 4K streaming, and more. The Pro wants you be over-the-top entertainment system. They want it to be your system for games and everything. So I have a link in the show notes so you can go pre-order one for the November 10 release. There we go. November 10th release over at Amazon. So, and of course that helps me keep the lights on any of these links that I do here. All right, well, it's time for this week's comic book of the week. You like that? Comic book of the week. This week's comic is coming November 9th. It's the Now Avengers number 1.1. And of course, it's part of the Now series, and where they're going to be pitting different characters back and forth. So this one is the Avengers, where Captain America's body was just rescued and revived, and he's joined by Hawkeye, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch, and it's kind of getting them together so they can become a team and go from there. And like I said, the Now series will be doing some more mix and matches of characters, seeing what works, and maybe making something go. Because, we had Deadpool, and we had Cable, and then we had Deadpool and Cable. And so I think that's a pretty cool thing here. So anyway, let's move on here. Great hair! It's the Wonder Woman trailer. It's showing us the origin of Wonder Woman and making you a little creeped out after ogling her in Superman vs. Batman, now knowing how old that she probably really is. So, I'm just kidding. But the whole point is that it's going to be an origin story. And, it's kind of like Captain America's origin story if you think about it, except on the DC side now. So, we're going to see a lot of stuff from the 20s and how she was with the Amazon women and how they were their camp was invaded, and how she donned the Wonder Woman outfit, and the first outfits, and the cuffs, the bracelets, and the lasso, and all that other stuff. So it gets you up to speed on Wonder Woman's character. And I think so far the trailer, I love the trailer. Trailer is now out. Go check it out. It's I think this might just actually be a good DC movie. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, though. You never know. So let's move on. Perfect for your brand new PS4 Pro is the new Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, due out today. I have a link to the show notes once again if you want to buy it. The game will come in 3 play modes. You've got campaign, you've got multiplayer, and you've got zombies. Because every game needs a zombie level. I think so. Even Pinkachu needs a zombie level, maybe. Because if The Rock is Pinkachu, can you smell what The Rock is cooking on that zombie? Simple as that. So, of course, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is remastered for true HD play. You can team up and play the 10 maps on the game. They even introduced the XP. They've got XP, Prestige, and the kill streaks in multiplayer mode. So you can laugh at your friends around the water cooler to find out how many more people you've killed than them. Imaginary kills, but still kills. I don't know. Finally, did you lose your big straw in Godzilla somewhere? All right, the 150 volunteers built this rice straw Godzilla because, they could. The rice straw Godzilla stands 22.96 feet and has a 32-foot tail. They even put in LEDs in the eyes, the dorsal fin, and the tails. The tail. There's just one tail, not tails. So no fire breathing though. I mean, think about it. Rice straw Godzilla breathing fire. You basically go up in flames. That's it for Godzilla. Well, that was fun. He's not going to really go after the world because simply he's dead. So, and hopefully the big bad wolf doesn't come huffing and puffing around him anytime soon because, I think that will cause problems as well. So, but anyway, it's pretty cool stuff. It's Strange Days here at New to This Week. Marvel's Doctor Strange hits theaters this week, then bends it around and puts it on top of itself again. The reviews are very positive in this Marvel Studios movie, and as one fan called it, Inception on steroids. I'm more excited to see Mads Mikkelsen's Caecilius character. After all, I believe the movie isn't anything unless the villain is completely believable. If you need to take the kiddies to the theater, well, Trolls will be the movie to see, and as much as I want to hate it, this movie is actually getting some great feedback. You might want to check your education at the door, though, and suspend all realities. After all, it's about a group of trolls. Normally I don't talk about these movies, but this one was so peculiar I had to talk about the pickle geek in all of us. Yes, I said pickle geek. The Pickle Recipe is out to a small theater audience this weekend. It's about a curmudgeon grandma who won't give out the best pickle recipe in the world, not even to her grandson. Of course, the son and grandson want the recipe so they can sell it, so she's probably right in not doing it. After all, the grandson's DJ equipment is destroyed and the son is not doing too well himself. But in all, watching this movie can make you say, the pickle brought us together. The now-canceled Powers Season 2 comes out to DVD on Tuesday. This was a show created by the PlayStation Network about a time when heroes live with regular people and a villain has a way to disable a superhero's power. Daredevil Season 1 comes out to DVD and Blu-ray, and it's already available on Amazon Video. This shows us that Netflix and Marvel series are looking to find new fans and make much more money than they could before. And that's okay, because the series is worth it. The Seth Rogen animated movie Sausage Party is also available. In this movie, the food makes the same startling revelation that we did in the classic Twilight Zone episode To Serve Man, although they don't see a cookbook, more of a brutal death to their compatriots. Finally, the Quentin Tarantino movie From Dusk Till Dawn will hit select theaters on November 6th and 9th to celebrate its 20-year anniversary. This even will come with the exclusive Q&A from Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino. I have the link so you can get the Blu-ray if it's not coming to your city. And that is New to This Week. All right, and it's not coming to my city either, so I'll have to watch that on Blu-ray. But the 20th anniversary of From Dusk Till Dawn, if that doesn't make you feel old, I don't know what will. So young George Clooney, for that matter. So, by the way, did you know George Clooney also had Bell's palsy at one time? That's pretty cool. So me and George Clooney were like this. I'm over here. So anyway, let's move on. Let's get back in your news. One thing I found out after the fact is that the show, second season of Danger Mouse, is going to be available on, I don't have my notes queued up here. Season 2 of Danger Mouse is coming to Netflix. This UK kids, and adult kids for that matter, show is able to stream on November 9th. Of course, Danger Mouse was in the 90s, went for a few years, and then, of course, I'm saying of course too much. Yeah, of course. So, Danger Mouse starting back up in the UK, Season 2 now on Netflix next week, November 9th. So, you'll be able to get your Danger Mouse fix. And, of course, if you haven't seen Season 1 of Danger Mouse, go see it. So it stars Alexander Armstrong, Kevin Eldon, I think that's it, and Stephen Fry. So, there we go. I was a graphic. Oh man, I was gonna do video game of the week. That's the new graphic, and I forgot to do that. So there it is, the new video game of the week graphic. That's when I talked about Call of Duty. So I get too much into this, and all of a sudden it's like I forget things. It happens. Anyway, let's talk about our main subject of the week, problems with Deadpool 2 and who really should be the new director. Now, how do you create a winner a second time? Movies love to have sequels, and as we've seen many a times, every movie that's out there is planned to have a sequel. And when the movie bombs, there's no sequel. Green Lantern, perfect example there. Deadpool is absolutely no different. Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 next summer, which was another underdog movie. But their advantage is their family-friendly version that they put out too. Deadpool was never family-friendly. And if they were to make this not R-rated, it would be a disgrace. So it has to be what it was with Deadpool. Simple as that. And I wouldn't even watch it, actually. If it was R-rated, they might as well just sew up Ryan Reynolds' mouth like they did in the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, because I definitely won't watch a PG-13 version of Deadpool 2. And maybe I'm not thinking right about this or whatnot, but it needs to be that. If they set the standard, they got to keep the standard. So, yeah, and even Ryan Reynolds says it best. A merc with a mouth. You need the mouth. It's simple as that. Or even the Deadpool comic book, confirming that Ryan was the perfect Deadpool by saying, hey, he's cross him with a Sharpie and you got Ryan Reynolds. So, or you got Deadpool. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, so what's going on with the sequel? Creative differences, basically. That caused the director, Tim Miller, to actually leave the sequel. There were two main issues that pretty much split Reynolds from Miller. The first was the overall look. Miller had this vision of making this more unique and stylistic than the first. And, we found out in the first Batman movies that doesn't always work. Because, first of all, it calls for a budget at least 5 times the amount of the original. It would also mean that the visual effects would take the forefront. And Ryan Reynolds knows what can happen to a movie that if you focus on more CGI than on its story. We should leave that to James Cameron and the next 3 Avatar movies. Or as Ryan Reynolds says himself, please don't make a super suit green, or my super suit green, or animated. The other issue that we have is the casting of Cable. Reynolds wasn't too keen on Kyle Chandler, whom was in the forefront to play the tag team partner. And I completely agree. Chandler does not look like Cable. Simple as that. He's too clean cut. And yeah, they can make him look like Cable and feel like Cable. And I could probably be completely wrong, but I don't see Kyle Chandler as Cable. I see somebody like Stephen Lang as Cable. Speaking of Avatar, I think he'd be the perfect Cable. Carl Urban from Star Trek playing Bones, I think he'd be a decent Cable. Maybe more sarcastic Cable, but definitely there. We also have Christopher Maloney from Law & Order. I think he would be a great son of Scott Summers, along with Michael Cutlitz from The Walking Dead. He played Abraham. A ginger Cable. No, that's not the worst thing right there. So, of course, we could also see a gender change right there, as Keira Knightley could don the role. Because, Ryan Reynolds said in the Deadpool credits that she did have range. So Miller left and moved on to the Sonic movie. And I'm talking the Hedgehog movie, not the drive-through fast food chain. Could you imagine a 90-minute movie from 2 guys sitting in a commercial like they do on the car talking about Sonic? It sounds more like a Kevin Smith type challenge than anything. So, as for Ryan, this is a role that he was born to play and a movie that he was born to make. Simple as that. Mostly because Ryan Reynolds is a one-trick pony. And that's actually a good thing. If you look at any movie that he's played in, it's always the same. That Van Wilder role coming out. Heck, if he could crash any celebrity roast, he would fit right in. Simple as that. Maybe he could have actually been part of that Trump-Clinton roast that they had and make it 100 times better. Yeah, I think he would have. It's all a question of what level Reynolds is turned up to. And keep in mind, I've met a lot of comedians, and a few of them pretty much only have one dial, and that dial is simply on. That can get very annoying at times, I'll tell you that. So if you give them a movie where they can let it all out, the next movie with a more serious role might just win him an Oscar or 2. Think about it, somebody like Robin Williams was exactly like that. And you give him a completely crazy movie where he can let out and then reel him in on a very serious movie, it works. Now, as long as the Cable character keeps to the comic, I picture it like a comedy duo, Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy, Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, and yeah, in a weird way, even James T. Kirk and Spock. Now, who could replace Miller to make Deadpool 2 a better movie than the original? I really hope that Reynolds doesn't say, well, why don't I just do the direction? I'll take over the whole thing. And he might be able to do it, but I'm a little bit concerned that might be too much for the plate, and I really want that diversity with another person, somebody that you can bounce ideas off of. It always works a lot better. Now, I would go for Terry Gilliam. The man has been directing the absurd for almost 50 years. Time Bandits, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, and of course all the Monty Python. You can't get any better than that. Terry Jones also fills that role, but he's been doing a lot of documentaries lately, and he was just diagnosed with dementia, so he might be going through some personal problems, but I'm not discounting him at all. A close third would be Seth MacFarlane, who would push boundaries, and we might even get a musical number or two in the middle. Finally, this is kind of left field, but I think that Jill Soloway is a perfect director for the Deadpool movie. The director of 6 Feet Under, United States of Tara, and most recent, Transparent. She can bring a more serious side that won't jump that Deadpool shark. It's just a question of how she or any of these other directors could handle an action movie. Now, it's no surprise that the sequel has some big shoes to fill, or should I say, baby hands to grow. I'm also hoping that this lives closer to the Deadpool cable comic than anything else, because I think that's what Ryan Reynolds really wants, that close to the comic feel. So, of course, we see a little bit less of the X-Men references. Of course, we have, I can't think of his name right now, the big silver guy. Big silver guy. He'll probably be in the movie, and maybe another X-Men. But if Deadpool and Cable, if they can keep that as solo as possible, I think that'll help out immensely there. So, because it doesn't need help anymore. It's as simple as that. So, but the real question is, how will this play out, and what director will take the reins? Will Ryan Reynolds take the reins? And that, it's not his decision totally. It's up to the movie. If everybody feels that Reynolds can do a great direction, then they'll give him a try. But if they have any doubt, they'll bring in another director. And one of those people, Terry Gilliam, Jill Soloway, these are all names that I think would be awesome to help with Deadpool 2. So, but anyway, let me know what you think. Who do you think should be director? Who do you think should be in? Who should be Cable? Who do you think should be in the Deadpool movie? How do you think the story should go? And should it live as close to the comic as possible? Or do you want it to be more dramatic, CGI'd out and stuff like that? Green suits and animated suits and stuff like that? Let me know. Tweet me over at Geekazine or Morning Geeks or geekazine@gmail.com. So that's it for this week's Morning Geeks. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope I enjoyed it. It took, I'm having some problems reading because my left eye's been watering up here, but we got through it. That's the important thing. So that happened. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. If you watched over on Facebook, thank you very much for watching on Facebook. If you watched over on YouTube, thank you very much for watching on YouTube. We do this show every single Friday morning at 8:30 a.m. And of course, program notes, going to London in a couple weeks. So we got a couple weeks before we're going to take a couple week break here. And then might even take the holiday month off. I haven't figured that out. It depends on what's coming out geek-wise. So I'm going to have to look ahead so you get all your fix there. But if you want to be part of the show, let me know. Tweet me. If you want to be part of the Patreon movement, go over to patreon.com/geekazine. Help me create better shows by supporting the show and go from there. So thanks a lot for watching. You guys geek out. We'll see you next time, and take care on Morning Geeks.